Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the strat-o-matic network. And we've got our 1962 replay here, continuing at it. And it's the St. Louis Cardinals at the New York Mets. St. Louis coming into New York for a two-game series. This is the first of the two. And it'll be Larry Jackson, right-hander for St. Louis. Has no record. And Sherman Jones for the New York Mets, his first appearance in the season. I'll be back with the lineups in just a few minutes. Hello, JC. Good morning to you, JC. For the St. Louis Cardinals, leading off is Don Landrum in center field. Batting second, Javier playing second base. White at first, Musial in left. Boyer at third. Oliver catching, Clemens in right. Gotay at shortstop. And Larry Jackson, the pitcher. No record, right-hander. For the New York Mets, it's Felix Mantilla at short. Elio Chacon making his first appearance at second. Bell in right, Thomas in left, Marshall at first, Bobby Smith, not carded, using the card viewer, in center. Don Zimmer at third, Hobie Landreth catching, and the pitcher non-carded, using the card viewer, Sherman Jones. Jones played in parts of 3 seasons, and this was his final year. After leaving baseball, he served in the Kansas City Police Department for 22 years. He was also elected as a legislator for Wyandotte County in Kansas, serving in the House of Representatives and the Senate. He married Amelia Buchanan in 1956. He died at age 72 at the University of Kansas Medical Center. Sherman Jones, pitching for the New York Mets. And we are in the Polo Grounds. Ballpark effects, singles, left-hander 2, right-hander 5. Home runs 1-19 from both sides, and the New York Mets take the field. Sherman Jones, non-carded. On the mound taking his warm-ups. Sherman Jones pitched 23 and 1/3 innings. He had a record of 0-4 with the Mets and an ERA of 7.71. We'll see how he fares against this St. Louis lineup. And leading it off for the Cardinals is Don Landrum. Jones is a right-handed pitcher. Landrum steps in the batter's box. Here's the pitch from Jones. That's 5-7, left-handed. Single 1-5, lines it to first, caught by Marshall, 1 out. So Jones retires Landrum. And that'll bring up Julian Javier. Kathy for the Mets. Julian, right-handed hitter. That's a strike call to Julian. The pitch from Jones. That's a 3-10 right-handed. Grounds it to short for Mantilla. And he throws it to Marshall at first for the second out. Now Bill White. White left-handed. Sherman Jones into his windup and the pitch to White. That's going to be 3-7, and he walked him. So White is on. 1-15. Jones has a great move. He's a 1-10, not being held. He's got the lead of 1-10. Here's Stan Musial now. From the stretch, Jones. That's 1-9, right-handed, grounds it to first. Marshall has it, and he takes it to the bag, and the side is retired. So Jones puts out the Cardinals. No runs, no hits, the walk to White. And he was left on base after a half an inning here at the Polo Grounds. St. Louis nothing, and the New York Mets are coming to bat. Attendance 4,725. I can't believe that's all they got. I thought there was such excitement for this team, and there was enthusiasm, but they just didn't draw a lot at the stadium. Here's Larry Jackson now for the Cards. Leading off for New York is Felix Mantilla. Chacon on deck. Jackson into his windup. Pitch to Mantilla, 4-7 right-handed, fly ball to center. Under it is Landrum. He makes the catch, 1 out. Elio Chacon steps into the batter's box. Here's Jackson now. The windup and the pitch to Chacon. That is a 6-11 right-handed, grounder to short, and Gotay has it. And he throws to White, 2 away. Now Gus Bell. Jackson was 16 and 11, 3.75 real world. No record yet on this replay. Here's Gus Bell with 2 outs and nobody on. 3-7, that's a single, 1-14, goes through for Bell. A 2-out single, Bell is on, and here's Frank Thomas. Here's from the stretch, the pitch to Thomas. That's 6-11 right-handed. Grounder to short. Again, it's fielded by Gotay. And he throws it to White, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, the single by Bell left on. We've gone 1, and it's a scoreless ball game. Lord. We're looking at possibly a 2 p.m. game, which will be the final game of this date, April 18. It is the Pittsburgh Pirates with Vinegar Bend Mizell at the Philadelphia Phillies Hamilton, stacked for the Mets. And I just learned something today. Vinegar Bend was his nickname, whatever that means. He was an elected representative. I don't know if it was state or U.S. Congress. I will check when we play the game. He's starting for Pittsburgh at the Phillies Jack Hamilton. That is scheduled for 2 p.m. That will round out the games of this date, and then if I'm up to it, I'll do what I did yesterday, and that is I will partake and limit myself to 3 innings for the first game of April 19 at a 6 p.m. start, and that's going to be the New York Yankees at the Baltimore Orioles, finishing off their 3-game series. For the first game of April 19, for the Yankees, it's Ralph Terry, and for the Orioles, it will be Chuck Estrada. Chuck Estrada. Top of the second here. Ken Boyer leading it off against Sherman Jones. Here is Jones now, the windup, the pitch to Boyer. That is 5-7 right-handed. Double 1-6. It's a double for Boyer off of, I got it right up here on my, not that you don't believe me, but I'll even bother to show you at least once. Here's him against right-handers. And then I have it against left-handers, you see. That's Sherman Jones going at it. Might as well keep him up while we're pitching to Gene Oliver. It's Boyer on second to lead it off here in the second. Oliver at the plate, he's the right-handed hitter. Here's Sherman Jones now. The pitch to Oliver. That's a 5-6 right-handed. And he flies it to right. Under it is Bell, makes the catch, 1 out. Now Doug Clemens is the batter. Doug Clemens, left-handed hitter, facing Sherman Jones. Oh shit, I got the wrong frickin' card. Oh shit. I got the 61 card. Fortunately, this is an error that is impossible to correct. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take Jones out right now. I'm gonna delete this, and if I have the need to use him again, we will get the correct card. But like I tell you folks, I want to tell you it over and over again, that no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, and when errors are insurmountable, like this one. Fortunately, I believe that all of the first inning was off his own, off the hitter's card. The double and the fly ball to right were on his card. We work such errors into the replay. It's worked into the replay. He's coming out. He has a blister, and there's going to be a new pitcher for the Mets. And it's going to be Ken McKenzie. And I am so sorry, because I go to great lengths to do all this accurately, but being a human, you know, sometimes we make errors. He was on Cincinnati, Jones. So McKenzie coming in -2. And I hope you all don't feel like this game is ruined. I don't think it is. McKenzie now. The good news is it went in St. Louis's favor. They're the only team here that has any kind of shot at a pennant. McKenzie taking his warm-ups due to the blister. He has no record. Jones pitched 1 1/3 innings off his wrong card of the year. He's responsible for Boyer on second, and now we're going to have Clemens come up and face McKenzie, who has a relief endurance of 4. So you play enough, you play thousands of games, shit like this will happen, especially when you're using the card viewer and you make an error like that. Okay, here's McKenzie now. In for Jones, who got blistered. The pitch to Clemens. That's 2-8 left-handed, struck him out. Now Julio go tie with 2 outs and Boyer on second. Thank you, Stack. 2-6 grounded to first. Marshall takes it to the bag and the side is retired. Thanks, Stack. That's awfully nice. No runs for the Cardinals. 1 double. Jones allows no runs. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's also about not taking any given game let alone all these games too seriously. We can take it seriously. Yeah, it's just a game, Tony. Thank you, Tony. If it were a World Series game, if it, you know, The Cards are probably going to win this, but we'll see. We're going to head now to the bottom of the second. Ken McKenzie, Larry Jackson on the mound. And Jim Marshall is the batter for the Mets. That's true, Stack. Although aspects of the computer versions is played by a computer. I think that's why I like the card and dice also. The computer, it just, you have less control. Let me put it that way. Here's Jackson facing Marshall. And that's a 4-11 left-handed grounder to second for Javier. Throws to White, one away. Now here's Bobby Smith. We use this just as a placeholder because he's non-carded. That's just non-carded here. We can use this one now. I could use some more of these, I'll tell you. Smith steps into the batter's box. And just to show you all, here's Smith's card. I don't know if you're able to see it, but it says 1962 St. Louis. But he was first on the Mets, then he was traded to St. Louis. That's why that's it. You have lots of cards that say a different team. Smith started on the Mets. It's on Baseball Reference in the lineup. He's a right-handed hitter. One out, here's Jackson. The pitch to Smith, 1-8, right-handed, grounds it back to the pitcher, Larry Jackson, who throws it to White for the second out. I think you all know that you're going to get things like in the 64 Cubs, just as an example. In the 64 set, Lou Brock is on the Cardinals. He's got one card. But he starts the beginning of the season with the Cubs. So, Stack says, I prefer card and dice, and especially why I wake myself every morning to watch your games is because your games are wonderful. Your play calling is like I'm listening to a game on the radio. That's awfully nice of you, Stack. And, that just makes it that much more rewarding that other people enjoy it. Really does. 2 outs now, and here's Don Zimmer, thank you. And Jackson facing Zimmer with 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Jackson. That's 3-9, right-handed, grounder to short. And Gotay fields it, throws to White, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3. And we've gone 2. It's a scoreless game. McKenzie back on the mound again, in for Jackson. Jones, who developed a blister very early. He might have been working one already. When you take warm-ups and pitch, pitch on other days when you're not starting or pitching. Well, here's Larry Jackson coming up to bat. He's a 2 WR. It's no score after 2. And McKenzie, the windup, the pitch to Jackson. That's 2-8, struck him out. Second strikeout for McKenzie in relief. Here's Don Landrum. This will be the start of his second inning. His endurance is 4. It's 1 out. McKenzie on the mound. Landrum now. That is a 1-6 left-handed. Grounds it back to McKenzie. He fields it and throws it to Marshall. 2 away. And Julian Javier is the batter. Javier 0 for 1. That's 1-8, left-handed. Fly ball center field. Playable by Bobby Smith. He makes the catch. And the side is retired. So McKenzie looking very good, retiring the first 5 for the since coming in for the blistered Sherman Jones. We're heading to the bottom of the 3rd. Here's Jackson now. Hobie Landreth. What a name. And he steps up. We have a Landrum leading off for the Cardinals in the lineup, and then a Landreth. So you got to be careful there. Kind of reminds me when I used to work on a psychiatric hospital, in a med-surg hospital. Patient charts, when there were 2 patients with the same last name or any kind of similarity, there was always some sort of marker on the chart to be careful about, that it's the right chart, Okay, here's Jackson facing Landreth. The pitch. 3-6 right-handed, grounds it to second. Julian has it, throws it to White, 1 away. And here comes McKenzie up to the plate. McKenzie, in effect, being treated as the new starter in this ball game. It is a scoreless ball game. McKenzie is a 1 WR. We'll just flip it. Okay, McKenzie steps in. Here's the pitch from Jackson. That's 3-8, and he struck him out. First strikeout for Larry Jackson. And now Felix Mantilla is the batter. The pitch from Jackson. That's 6-7 right-handed. That's single 1-17, and it goes through for Felix. Felix with the 2-out single off Jackson. One to 15. He's a 1-12, not being held. Here's Elio Chacon. Elio Chacon, he died in 1992 at the age of 55. He died in Caracas, Venezuela. That's where he was born. And who says you can't go home? Okay, Chacon with 2 outs, Mantilla on first, not being held. Here's Jackson now. That is a 5-8 right-handed, grounded to third. Boyer has it, and he throws to White at first. The side is out. We've had no X's in the first 3 innings. And it is a scoreless ball game here in the Polo Grounds, Upper Manhattan. Actually in Harlem, the Harlem area. We're going to take a break for 2 or 3 minutes. When we come back, we'll continue this ball game. This is the Strat-o-matic Network. I'm going to make coffee, so this will take just about a minute. Well, the coffee is brewing, and I'm back here ready from the Polo Grounds in a scoreless ball game through 3. We move to the top of the 4th. Ken McKenzie has retired the first 5 he's come in since relieving the dubious 1961 non-carded Sherman Jones, who developed the blister. And Gus Bell will lead it off. He needs to, Jones needs to tell his coaching staff, the manager, that he's got a blister in the works. That thing was probably in the works before he threw his first pitch. Here's McKenzie now, facing Bill White. McKenzie gets the sign from Landreth. And here's the pitch to Bill White. That is 4-5 left-handed. Grounds it, that's our first exit short. That's Mantilla, 434. 434, 4-4. It's going to go past Mantilla unless he makes a throwing error on an S2, 34, 610, 15. And he makes the error, a throwing error. He should not have tried to throw it. It's an S2, E1, single and an error. White on second. The error on Mantilla. You need to know when it's not smart to even try. He got to it deep in the pocket of shortstop and then threw it away. So Bill White on second to lead it off, and here's Stan Musial. This will be lefty-lefty. Look at all those singles in the 3 column. We'll need water, we'll need milk. We have coffee made for now. By the way, Coffee Mate does not mix in iced tea. I mean, it's just impossible to get that thing to dissolve in iced tea. Iced coffee, I mean, probably iced tea too. Here's the pitch to Musial. 5'9", left-handed. It's a fly ball to right. Getting under at his bell, he makes the catch, one away. Now Ken Boyer with White on second, one out. 5'6", right-handed, fly ball center for Bobby Smith, and it's two away. McKenzie trying to get out of this with a runner in scoring position. Clutch situation for Oliver. He's got reversals. Pitch to McKenzie, 6'6", right-handed, struck him out. Third strikeout for McKenzie. He's proving to do a fine job here on a 6'6", right-handed. Middle of the fourth, and it's a scoreless game. And here's Larry Jackson now on the mound. Bell leads it off. Jackson into his windup. The pitch to Bell, 5'10", left-handed, grounder to short X. Go tie, 440. 440, 24 gets to it, right to it. 3-4-5 rare play. It's got probably going to be a deflection. G1. No, it's not a reflection. No runner on the base. It's a ground out. It's a non-rare rare play. A ground out. Two go tie. One away. Now here's Frank Thomas. Thomas takes a ball, 1-0. Thomas, 8 for 19 on the season. Pretty good. 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. Hitting in the neighborhood of 400. Here's Jackson. The pitch to Thomas, 2-7 right-handed. Oh, it grounds it to second. And Julian fields it and throws to White. 2 outs. Now Jim Marshall. That, you know, Kathy, that I want to speak to that. 6'5" left-handed. That's hit well by Marshall. And he's got end power. It's 1-9, and it's gone. Jim Marshall has hit a home run to left for the Mets. It's always an opportunity for me to, you know, practice my memory that I want to get back to Kathy's comment. But look at that, 6'5" right, left-handed. End home run 1-9. Does he have the power? Yes, he does against right-handers, and it was an 8. And the Mets will go out ahead here, 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth on the home run by Marshall. Lord. For Marshall, that is his first home run of the season. It is surreal to look at the news headlines while listening to strat-o-matic games. I am trying to sort of disconnect myself. Bobby Smith will come up now with 2 outs, nobody on. 1-0 Mets. My TV is off right now. You know, I used to have it on all day on the news, but I find it's better not to. I'm looking right now at the headlines. things continue to be heated up in Lebanon and the Middle East. A Kentucky sheriff was charged for fatally shooting a judge at a courthouse. That I heard about yesterday. There's a race for governor in North Carolina, and the GOP nominee apparently called himself a black Nazi. Okay, I mean, it just gets worse and worse. You know, it just gets crazier and crazier. That's all I really have to say about it. Okay, here's Bobby Smith now. Bobby, right-handed hitter, 2 outs, nobody on. That coffee is almost ready. Here's Jackson now. And the pitch to Smith. That's 4-5, right-handed. Grounds it to third. Fielded by Boyer, and he throws it to White, and the side is retired. But there was 1 run on the home run by Jim Marshall, his first of the year. And after 4, it's a 1-0 ball game. I do turn the TV on, Kathy, after this second morning game. After the second morning game, I attend to some of my personal business, turn on the news, and then I tire of it after a while as I'm waiting for my afternoon game. So I'll go on YouTube and I'll maybe watch a movie. I'll tell you what I was watching yesterday, and I think I saw part of it when it came out, but Waterworld. I think Waterworld, I enjoy that movie. It's with Kevin Costner, and I just love it. I love the characters, the actors are great. Yeah, eating pets, you know. Now, if you're in another country, they're not pets. Dogs are eaten, you know, in other countries. So, you know, but geez, come on. That coffee is ready. I'm going to go grab it and put in some Coffee Mate as we have run out of regular milk. And I love the story. There's a beautiful woman, and she's with a young girl. It's not her daughter, but you know, people are left. There's no more civilization, as almost all of the land on Earth is gone, and he's very, very hostile toward this beautiful woman initially, but he lets her on to his, whatever you call it, his boat craft. And then finally there's a scene at the end where he's starting to appreciate her, and they go underwater. They're swimming and they go underwater, and he gives her a kiss underwater, and she looks very surprised. And it's I could see, I'm going to go back to it and watch the rest of it. It's you know, a beautiful, you know, with the theme of Waterworld and how he, you know, kissed her underwater after, you know, he's going to fall in love with her, you know, and it's beautiful. I thought it was beautiful, you know. Anyway, we're heading to the top of the 5th. It's a 1-0 ball game. Let me get some coffee here. And if any of you are interested in watching that movie, if you haven't seen it yet, I really recommend it. Just go to YouTube and do a search Water World, one word. And what's great about it is it's not the kind of movie that you're on the edge of your seat with intense concentration as you might with some movies. You can easily just have it on in the background while you're relaxing. But it is worth watching. I wouldn't, I don't know how good it would be if you just have the sound on. It's worth watching. Okay, we move to the top of the fifth. Enough about Waterworld. And here's Ken McKenzie. 1, 2, 3. And he is in his third inning. One more out in it for the broken up inning. And leading it off will be Doug Clemens, top of the fifth. The only thing about Coffee Mate is it does have a distinct flavor, which is, it's not bad, but it's not like milk. Oh, it's got sort of an aftertaste. Okay, here's McKenzie. The windup and the pitch to Clemens. That is 3-8, left-handed, grounds it back to McKenzie. He fields it and throws him out. And now he's in his first endurance inning. It was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's a first endurance inning now. We'll see how he fares. Julio Gotay is the batter. McKenzie into his windup. The pitch to Gotay. That is 4-6 right-handed. Struck him out. I'll tell you, McKenzie really looking good here. Now Larry Jackson with 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Oh. Okay, McKenzie now. Jackson struck out in the third. Here's the pitch. It's 6-7. Right-handed. Grounder to second X. Fielded by Elio Chacon, a 4-8. Eight, 8-4. Gets to it, G3, E8. 5-7-9. And he throws him out. And the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 by McKenzie. He's retired. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. 11 of 12 batters he's faced. We're heading to the bottom of the fifth. It's 1-0. New York Mets. On the home run by Jim Marshall, his first of the year. Here's Larry Jackson, bottom of the fifth. I think it was leading it off will be Don Zimmer for the Mets. Okay, Jackson. His first endurance is the 8th. 3-4 right-handed. Hit well by Zimmer into the gap, and it's going to be a double. A stand-up double for Don Zimmer to lead it off. What I can't help but think, and I have my biases, but he's married to a lovely looking woman, a very intelligent woman. They have children. And how does she tolerate her husband's behavior, which is based on dishonesty, deceit, just, you know, how does she justify that? You know? Okay, it's Zimmer on second. Here's Hobie Landreth. Hobie, you know, I know it's sort of, I'm imposing some sort of bias or issue on my part regarding that a woman who is ostensibly beautiful would tolerate that, as if he was married to an unattractive woman. It would make more sense to me that she tolerates it. But that's it's a bias. It's important to make your biases known to yourself so that you could deal with them. How could anyone tolerate that, regardless of how they frickin' look? Okay, here's Hobie Landreth now. Zimmer on second. No outs. Pitch from Jackson. That's 6-9. Left-handed. Struck him out. And that is the second strikeout for Larry Jackson. And here comes McKenzie up to the plate again. McKenzie showing good endurance. McKenzie, a 1 WR. That's 3-6. Grounds it to short A. I think Zimmer will hold. Yes, he will. It's thrown to first by Gotay, 2 outs now. And Mantilla comes up in a clutch situation. Oh, that's good coffee. Oh. Okay, Jackson, he gets the sign from Oliver. The pitch to Mantilla. 6-12, right-handed. Grounds it back to Jackson. Jackson is a 2-17. .217. The records are always on the score sheet, Bill. They're 2-3. I always put the records coming into the game right here. Maybe you can't read it, so I'm glad to tell you. They're 2-3, 2 games out. They're doing very well. That's a one. That's going to be a 2-17. Let's just make sure I got. I got distracted. It's quite all right, Bill. Let me just, I'm looking at this again to see if on Mantilla. Yes, that is the roll. Wait a minute. I'm watching instant replay. Okay, yes, that is the new roll. It's going to be a base hit. Jackson and 2-17. That's a 1-2. It's going to be an S1. If there's no error, it's going to send Zimmer to third. E17. 5-9-12. And he boots it. Oh my, Jackson couldn't find the handle on it. 5-9-12 on the E17. That's going to be an S1 E1. Single and error by Jackson. Zimmer scores. Now that's probably going to be unearned. I will call that unearned. I give the benefit of the doubt there because he did get a single, and Zimmer was on second. Here's Chacon now. Chacon 0 for 2. Here's Jackson now. And the pitch 2-6, right-handed. Single 1 to 12. Line to third, caught by Boyer. And the side is retired. There was one run, though. Some could argue that it's unearned, but, you know, Bill, if you think it's unearned, I go with your calls on stuff like that, and anybody else who has something to say about it. Nevertheless, it is still a run. A run is a run. We used to say a pub is a pub. Back in when I was in scholarship, as a professor, you write an article. It's not a great article, but it gets accepted in it's unearned. Okay, thank you. Not your best article, but it got accepted in a referee journal, and you say a pub's a pub. A pub's a pub. Thank you, Stack. You see? That's going to help Jackson's ERA in any case. We're heading to the top of the sixth. Here's McKenzie now, who's really been something. One more out in this endurance inning. It'll be the top of the St. Louis order, Don Landrum. Mets ahead 2-0. McKenzie winds and deals. 2-2, left-handed, grounds it to first. Marshall takes it to the bag, one away. Now here's Julian. Julian 0 for 2 today. Ooh, that's good coffee. Wow. And the pitch 4-9. Walked him, so Julian is on. This is a new endurance inning right here. He's 2 hits and/or walks away. Julian 1 to 16 being held, 1 to 14 now. And Bill White, the batter. Pitch from McKenzie, 4-8, left-handed, struck him out. That is the 5th strikeout for Ken McKenzie in this relief stint. He had a pretty good ratio, 51 in 80. 2 down now. And Musial is the batter. Again, Julian being held. 1 to 18, 1 to 16, 1 to 14. They're down by 2. He's not going to go. I was thinking of it. Here's the pitch to Musial. That's 5-8. Left-handed. Struck him out. Oh, Stanley goes down swinging, and McKenzie getting a big hand from this small crowd, 4,725 in the Polo Grounds. Boy, is he pitching good baseball. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th now. 2-0 Mets. Larry Jackson on the mound. There's no action in any of the bullpens. Gus Bell will lead it off here, bottom of the 6th. Okay, here's Jackson now. The wind-up and the pitch to Bell. That is 1-8. Right-handed, lines it to second, caught by Julian. 1 out. And now Frank Thomas. Thomas 0 for 2. That's 511 right-handed, grounds it to first X. Not many X's. It's going to be white, a 111. $14-1 gets to it. G1. E11, 5, 8, 12. And he takes it to the, he throws it to Jackson covering the bag. So it's 2 outs. And here's Jim Marshall. Big hand for Marshall from this small crowd. After the home run. Here's Jackson now. The pitch to Marshall. That is 5-7, left-handed, grounded to second X. It's Julian again, 320. .320, that's 9-3, gets to it. E20, 5-9-10, and he throws him out. A 1-2-3 for Jackson. We've gone 6. 2-0 Mets. Mets looking to even up their record at 3-3. Cardinals are 2-2. And Ken McKenzie comes out. He's pitched 4 2/3. Scoreless, allowing 1 hit, walking 1, striking out 6, showing no signs of fatigue as of yet. And here's Ken Boyer to lead it off. Top of the 7th. McKenzie, the winning pitcher of record. Here's the pitch to Boyer. That's 1-7, left-handed, single 1-9, goes through for Ken Boyer. That's the second hit allowed by McKenzie, and he is with 2 outs in his endurance inning. Boyer is on. 1-15, 1-13. Not being held. He has the lead now at 1-13. That's borderline. We might hold him. We'll hold him after all. Here's Oliver. I should start rolling on that. I should start rolling on if it's 1-13 or 1-14, roll to see if they're being held. I should have rolled on that, but in any case, because I know what I would probably do if I'm the manager of the Cards, and that's not go for it. Here's Gene Oliver, but nevertheless he's held. It's 3-7 left-handed, double 1 to. Oh, that's a re-roll, a foul ball. Too bad I looked. Pitch to Oliver. That's a 6-10 right-handed. There's a fly to center. X. Getting under that is Bobby Smith. He's a 2-2. Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. He's a 2 - 2-6. That's, I kind of messed up the way I ordinarily do it. Oh, God, almost had a little earthquake here. Hold your beer. It's a fly ball center X. Smith is a 2-6. I transposed those incorrectly for myself, you know, based on how I usually do it. Okay, here it is, 2-6. 13-2 gets to it, F2. E6, 6-11, 15. Oh, and it's a two-base error. Oh my. Again, we're looking at Smith, and I'm telling you folks, he's an E6, and that's 6-11-15. E6, there it is, E2. So that's a two-base error for Bobby Smith. Boyer goes to third and holds. And the Cards have second and third, no outs. And Doug Clemens is the batter. Mets leading 2-0. Here's McKenzie now. The pitch to Clemens. Here's where the going gets tough. 1-6, base hit. Boyer scores, Oliver scores, and it's a tie ball game. That's an unearned run. It's a 2-2 ball game, and one more hit or walk, McKenzie is fatigued. Clem Labine pitched in this game, believe it or not. He's not carded, and I didn't bother because he pitched like 7 innings. He is one hit or walk away from fatigue. My Lord. We're going to see who's available. Wait a minute. Yeah, who played in the, let's see who pitched on the 16th, if they even had a game. No, the Mets had an off day on the 16th, a travel day, so I can use anybody 2 days in a row. It will be Bob L. Miller. Bob L. Miller. We're up to our ears in Millers. Miller is warming. Again, 1-2, no outs in this broken up endurance inning. It's Clemens on first and Julio Gotay is the batter. It's a 2-2 ball game, brand new game here. McKenzie. The pitch to Gotay. That is 6-3 right-handed, fly ball left X. Uh-oh. That's going to be for Thomas. He is a 5-12. Let's not forget this team. That these are the 62 Mets. 18-5, gets to it on a G2. And he's an E12. 4-7-8. Oh, that's infield. I'm sorry. Christ. Gotay with the fly. Christ almighty. uh, 18-5. That's an F1. E12, 4-7-8. And he makes the catch. It's an F1 with a runner on first. And he will advance. Wow, Clemens advances. That's too bad. So it's 1 out. And Larry Jackson will hit. Jackson's first endurance is the 8th. It's a 2-2 ball game. He's going to hit here. Thomas's left field. Did I mess that up? I thought it was a left field. What are you saying, Bill? Should I do a replay? We enjoy the input that people, oh, everything's cool. Okay. Thank you. And it's great. You know, it's great for people to question calls, question things, to avoid errors, minimize errors. Okay, McKenzie on the mound. By the way, he gets out of that endurance inning, broken up endurance, with endurance, but 2 hits against him. Jackson at the plate, 1 out. Clemens on second, the go-ahead run. Here's McKenzie now. The pitch to Jackson. That is 3-6, and it's a grounder to short. He might move. No, he will hold. Mantilla throws to Marshall for the out, and Clemens holds at second. So it's 2 outs now, and Don Landrum comes up, the clutch situation. 286 hitter, 273 at bats. A real test for Ken McKenzie in a new endurance inning. Casey Stengel pacing in the dugout. The pitch from McKenzie. That is 3-6, left-handed, walked him. Now one more hit or walk, he has fatigued. First and second, 2 outs. You got to be looking at the outs in the inning, and you got to be looking at the interrupted innings due to coming in with 1 out back in the second. He's gone all the way since then. And it's first and second, 2 outs, but 1 out in this endurance inning. And here's Julian in a clutch situation. Again, Stengel pacing. You don't get many opportunities like you will like this for the Mets in a 2-2 game. Here's McKenzie now. Maybe the most important at bat thus far in the game for him. The pitch to Julian. That's 6-11, right-handed ballpark blast by Julian. He does not have the power. It's a 9. It's a base hit. Clemens scores with the go-ahead run. Landrum goes to third, and that was a clutch hit by Julian, and that's going to knock McKenzie out of the box. 6-11. Here comes Stengel out to the mound. 6-11, right-handed ballpark blast, Julian. It was a 9, but against left-handers, W power, so it's the single. And in this, an endurance inning, 2, a walk and a single, when in the prior he had 2 singles. That's it for Ken McKenzie, and what a hand for Ken McKenzie. Bob L. Miller is coming in from the bullpen. And while he makes his way, he'll give us a chance here to get McKenzie's numbers. He pitched 5 innings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 5 1/3, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 2/3, 5 1/3. He allowed only 4 hits for a Met. That's really nice. He walked 2, struck out 6. I think that this run was unearned also, because this dropped fly by Bobby Smith would have been an out, and it would have been 3 outs already. Unless someone is going to correct me on it, we're going to call that an unearned run. And we're going to call everything else in this inning that might come in an unearned run. So we'll call it 2 unearned. And whether it be Stack, Bill, Kathy, or anybody else out there, you let me know if you want to correct it. And it does matter in this replay because I am keeping ERA statistics. So we're going to call this a one earned run and 2 unearned runs. First and third, 2 outs, and Miller now is the new pitcher. 1 earned and 2 unearned is what Bill says, and he's correct. Or I should say I'm correct. And coming up will be Bill White. First and third, 2 outs. Okay, Miller is ready. Here's the pitch to White. That's a 2-10, and that is a base hit for Bill White. Landrum scores. I'm going to call it unearned. And of course, you can correct me, and we add that to McKenzie there. And it's now a 4-2 game. It's a shame. Now here's Musial, the 9th batter of the inning for the Cardinals. A big 4-run inning. Okay, here's Miller now. First and second, 2 outs. Miller trying to get out of this. 3-10. Flies it to right. And the side is retired. 3 unearned and no longer counting. There were 4 runs for the Cardinals there in the top of the 7th. 3 of them unearned due to the error by Bobby Smith. And he's not a bad fielder, though. Just one of those flukes. And McKenzie, who was pitching so well, is now the loser. And Jackson is the winner. This game isn't over, though. We're going to move to the bottom of the 7th after a brief break from the Polo Grounds. Cardinals 4, Mets 2. I'm Jeffrey Guterman. And this is the strat-o-matic replay. And we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Indeed. Ooh. you got a little programming note. My endurance is 3 games. And therefore, I'm not going to do an afternoon game, but I'm going to move up what was going to be the afternoon game, Pirates at the Phillies, and I'm going to move that up to a 6 p.m. start this evening. And it's my favorite time of the day. And I'm going to go with the same routine I followed yesterday, which I thought worked out very well, which was commit to 3 innings with cannabis. No more. If I feel like doing more without going off the rails, I'll do it, but we're going to do a solid 3 and then pick up that game on Saturday morning. And we're going to get back to this game as the Mets are now behind by 2. Larry Jackson on the mound for St. Louis, trying to hold the lead. Leading it off will be Bobby Smith with the card viewer. He made the big error that cost arguably all those runs, although Jackson and Miller both let up hits for those runs. Here's Jackson now, the windup and the pitch to Miller. Oh, Bill Ivamy has just told me, and that's fantastic. Let me go look to see. You're saying Bobby Smith has a card for St. Louis. Hold on. I thought I would have picked up on that. Yep, there it is. And what I want to do here is look to see if it's identical. It better be. Fly ball right. We'll just do a quick audit. Ground ball first, correct. Home run, it is correct. So I thank you so much. And that was not an error because I was using the card. Okay, I was using the card. Isn't that something? So thank you, Bill. You're really alert. And we will know when he's started and put into the St. Louis lineup. Looking at, it's nice to have a card on him. 210 hitter. Well, we're going to let him lead off. Boy, I don't know how you knew that off the top of your head. Here's Larry Jackson. That was a great thing. Here's the pitch to Smith. That is 6-5, right-handed, and home run 1-7, drops in for a double. He has W power, so that worked in his favor. A leadoff double with a chance for redemption here for Bobby Smith. So he's now carded. Again, the cards are identical, so retro sheet, you looked him up. Great work, Bill. Great work. And excuse my typos. My keyboard is off to the left. So Smith on second to lead it off, and here's Don Zimmer. Zimmer 1 for 2, doubled, scored, and unearned. The pitch from Jackson. That is 411, right-handed, grounds it to second B. He'll probably hold. Actually, he will advance. It's a ground out to Julian. His play is to first, and Smith goes to third with 1 out now. And here's Hobie Landreth. That's an old laptop today. I have a philosophy: you go through computers or laptops every 3 years or so, maybe a little longer, 4 years, 5 years, but that's about it. Here's Landreth now. The pitch from Jackson. That is 4-7, left-handed, base hit to left. Smith scores. And it's a 4-3 game. Yeah, give yourself treat yourself, sir. It's still working though. You using a laptop now? Oh, that's awesome. You know, because that is such a better, you know, I would say it's a better viewing experience than on a iPhone or a smartphone. A tablet is good. I mean, you get a bigger visual field, and that's awesome. So Landreth with a big run batted in there, making it a 4-3 ball game. And there's going to be a hitter for Miller. We just put this in just to oh, my legs are so sore. With only 1 out, they're going to have a hitter here. Miller, 5-6 2/3, pitched 1/3 of an inning. Let's see who's going to hit here. Rod Keneal pinch hit. Ed Boucher pinch hit. Richie Ashburn is coming out to hit. Richie Ashburn pinch hit. And you know, whether you use him now or you use him later, we're going to frickin' use him now. Left-handed hitter. Richie Ashburn pinch hit in this game in real world. Here's Ashburn now. We might pull a double switch. I'll seek feedback on that if I think about doing that. Here's Jackson now. Landreth is on first, not being held. Here's the pitch to Ashburn. That is a 3-6, right-handed, walked him. Now Jackson's first endurance inning is the 8th. We ought to have something like in the inning prior to endurance, any combination of 4 hits or walks is fatigue. But, you know, something like that. Maybe 5, you know. but it's Ashburn on first, Landreth on second, 1 out. Everybody is available. Mulford, Moorhead, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Moorhead, 4.53. You know, you got to know when, that's about as good as you can get there. So it will be Moorhead, who pitched last game, but will be going 2 days in a row. They had an off day on the 16th. He's a +4 hold. And what I'm thinking of doing, Bill, is keeping Ashburn in the game in center field and taking out Smith, the 200 hitter, and having the pitcher in this spot. You can let me know if you think that's kosher and or if you think that's a good idea. First on second, 1 out. Here's Mantilla, but that's not something necessary to decide right. That's a good move. Okay, so it will be Ashburn in the lineup. And we'll put the pitcher here in the place of Bobby Smith. We're going to keep Thomas in because of his bat. Ashburn will play center. He's a 3 + 3, 9. Casey not snoozing. In fact, I've looked at, ouch! Through the years, I've looked at box scores of the Mets, and he does a lot of changes. Casey does an awful lot of substitutions. He does double switches, and he does it ad nauseum, if you will.
Okay, I found this on the web for does an awful lot of substitutions. He does double switches, and he does it ad nauseum. Check it out.
Oh, Lord. Every once in a while, my Siri thing activates. Ow, my leg. Oh, is that right, Phil? Julio Gotay is superstitious? I did not know that. Let me look it up. Julio Gotay superstitious. Julio Gotay, Baseball Reference, was known as an extremely superstitious player. He kept a cheese sandwich in the back pocket of his uniform for good luck. He also thought crosses on the field, for example, crossed bats, brought very bad luck. So Julio Gotay, I wonder if he has a cheese sandwich when he's in the field, or does he take it out? And I'm also wondering what kind of cheese sandwich, what kind of cheese. Bill, that's crazy because Clete Boyer's a decent hitter. Lord. Okay, it's going to be Felix Mantilla. Still only 1 out, and it's Mantilla, 2 for 3. Yeah, do you know the type of cheese, Phil? And I would prefer we not speculate. You could be talking American, Gouda, Edam, Swiss, maybe a sharp cheddar. It would be good to know. And Julio Gotay, by the way, died in 2008, so he died of prostate cancer. He had 4 children with his wife Sylvia. His children were Julio Jr., I guess, Augustin, Irma, and Sylvia. Okay, Mantilla at the plate, still only 1 out, first and second, tying run in scoring position. Here's Jackson, and the pitch to Mantilla. That is a 2-7 right-handed fly ball center. Playable by Landrum. He makes the catch, 2 outs. Lindberger. I was going to say something about Lindberger, Phil. Lindberger cheese sounds very, very cheesy to me. It sounds like a classic Limburger with an M. Limburger is a cheese that originated in Belgium, and in particular Herve, Belgium. In popular culture, Limburger and its characteristic odor are a frequent butt of jokes. It's been referenced in Looney Tunes, Little Rascals, The Three Stooges, lots of different oh, Lord. A study showing that the malaria mosquito is attracted equally to the smell of Limburger and to the smell of human feet. And this finding led to a Nobel Prize, an LG Nobel Prize, which is a satiric prize awarded annually to celebrate 10 unusual or trivial achievements in scientific research. But it does appear to be true that there was a study. So if you want to fend off mosquitoes, he liked that cheese, stunk up the whole house. That is hilarious. 2 down now. Here's Elio Chacon. This is a clutch situation, and he's got a reversal on his card. The pitch from Jackson trying to get out of this. That's 4-10 right-handed. Catcher X with a runner on second. Oliver 3-4. Whew. 3-4, 13-3. It looks like it's going to be a pass ball. That's 6-10-13. E4. It gets past Oliver for a pass ball. Landreth Hobie goes to second. Now it's a full count on Chacon. You know, if it smells so bad, how could it taste so good? I mean, I can't tell you of any food that I like the taste of that smells bad. You know? I think smell is an important part of eating, because, you know, smell is linked to taste. If you plug your nose, for example, I think that's a way to not, sardines, my God. What the hell how do they make that cheese? 2 outs now. clutch situation for Chacon. Did I roll for Chacon? Shit. Oh, he's still up. Yeah, after the pass ball. It's a full count. Oh, you like sardines? Here's Chacon. The pitch from Jackson. That is 5-10, right-handed, grounder to short X. Go Ty. He's got that, I could see that cheese sandwich. 440, let's see if it helps him. I know he does it when he's at the plate. I'd like to know if he takes it out, where he puts it. 15-4. Yeah, he gets to it on a G2 with that cheese. 5-8-10. Go tie E40. And he throws him out, and the side is retired. He's got to be holding that cheese in his back pocket. There was one run for the Mets on the leadoff double by Bobby Smith, now carded. And then the single by Landreth to knock him home. The Mets are staying in this ball game. It's 4-3 after 7. Ashburn, the pinch hitter, still will play center field now. And Moorhead is coming in to pitch. You know, it's a reminder of, if you remember what was the name of that baseball movie? God, I can't remember the name of it. And then they had some sequels. It was starring Berenger and God, sometimes names escape me. Bob Uecker, Ball. But in any case, they had a hitter on the team, a power hitter, who was very superstitious. And then in Major League, yeah. And then in the sequel, he was no longer superstitious. Instead, he was spiritual. I guess you can integrate those two. As Moorhead comes out taking his warm-ups, he's going to try to keep the Mets in this ball game. It's 4-3 Cards on that big 4-run inning. Okay, Moorhead is ready, and leading it off is Ken Boyer. 9 Cardinals came to the plate in the 7th, in that 4-run 7th. Here's Moorhead now. The pitch to Boyer. I love that movie. 2-4, right-handed, base hit, Boyer. His 3rd hit of the day. I love that movie. Now Gene Oliver. Boyer on first, 1-15. Moorhead, 1-19. Being held 1-17. That sounds like something we'd want to go for. He's 4-6 for the lead, and he does not get it. Boyer being held on first. Here's the pitch to Oliver. That is 5-6 right-handed. 1-1. Oh, it's a double. This might score Boyer, but with no outs, I think we'll hold him. 1-16, 1-17. 5-6 right-handed, 1-17. And now with Ashburn in the game, in center, 1-16, 1-17. 1-20, he's a +3, max 9. They'll let him score, max 1-19. And that is a scoring from first on the double, Boyer, on the double by Gene Oliver. And now it is a 5-3 ball game. Here's Doug Clemens. Oliver on second, no outs. Moorhead, 1-4, right-handed, hit deep by Clemens, and it is over the left field wall for a 2-run home run. First a single, then a double, and now a 2-run home run allowed by Moorhead. And that's going to give Clemens give him 4 runs batted in here today. I'm going to get my last cup of coffee for the morning. For Clemens, Mets, well, you know, it's going to be a long season for them. That's the first home run of the season for Clemens. Little break in the action. Here's Casey. Casey coming out. That's going to be it for Moorhead. That's going to be it for Moorhead. Moorhead is through. That means there's going to be a little break in the action here. Moorhead has pitched 0 innings. And we can close him out with 3 earned runs. Whew. Clemens hit 1 home run all season. He only had 93 at-bats, so, you know, that was one of them. Julio Gauthier has a bulge in his back pocket as he is taking some warm-up swings. Casey has taken the ball from Moorhead. It is 3 runs this inning, and now it is a 7-3 game. And coming into pitch is Ray Daviault, a 6.22 ERA. Ray Daviault. You know, you can, I guess the fun part, as long as we don't take things too seriously, you know, this is going to be, I need to start moving this shit down here now. That's going to be too tight. Daviault, a +1. Will come in and take his warm-ups. As long as you don't take it too seriously, well, Bill, that's what I was talking about. I clarified that bulge. I didn't say it was big, but I clarified it's in his back pocket. He's either a freak of nature or he's got a cheese sandwich back there. Ooh, I am, you know, folks, I am going nice and slow here and having a heck of a good time. And also in the process, taking painstaking efforts to really keep on top of all the ins and outs of this ball game. Ray Daviault, right-hander, +1 quotient, is now on the mound taking his warm-ups, and it's a 7-3 game. And it's going to be Julio Gauthier stepping up to the batter's box. I'm going to get my final cup of coffee here. And I don't have much left. I really don't have much left for the afternoon, but that works out fine. I may not even have iced coffee because I don't have a game to play, but if I do get in the mood for a little pick-me-up in the afternoon, I know it'll be there, because we're going 6 p.m. to the Pirates game, and I'll be doing cannabis at that hour rather than caffeine. 2 C's. They say the big C. Well, I have 2 big C's. Yeah, it's a fun game, Phil, and thanks for that cheese sandwich anecdote. That has really made it worthwhile. They talk about the big C. I have 2 big C's, caffeine and cannabis. Not used together, though. Caffeine in the morning and the afternoon, cannabis in the evening, preferably. I got away from smoking it too early, which really turns things. Here's Ray Daviol. No outs, nobody on. And Julio Gotay steps up to the batter's box. If you had an eye, you could create a picture of that. But this guy has it one better. This guy has grilled cheese all over his frickin' pants. So that's the closest that I can come to. And here we go. Julio Gotay, no outs, nobody on. Laden with a grilled cheese sandwich. Ray Daviol is ready. Here's the pitch to Gotay. And that is 2-9, right-handed. Struck him out, 1 away. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Larry Jackson. Pitch from Daviol. That's 2-9, struck him out. 2 strikeouts in order by Daviol. And now Don Landrum. Here's the pitch from Daviol. And that's 6'10", left-handed, ballpark slash, left-hander, 2, and it's line to second. Caught by Chacon, and the side is retired. Daviol retires 3 in order in relief. Too bad we didn't bring him in. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th. Larry Jackson now in his first endurance inning. Oops, I made a little error there. I should have put 3 runs in. Let that dry. It's going to be Bell, Thomas, and Marshall. Here's Gus Bell leading it off. Jackson in his first endurance inning. Pitch to Bell, 5-6, left-handed, fly ball center. For Landrum, 1 out. Now Frank Thomas. You know, I do believe that playing strat-o-matic is a good way to keep your mind alert. Kathy Harden for the Mets, diehard fan there. Mets down by 3. And I also play little mental exercises on myself, like, for example, wait for this to dry thoroughly and remember to add the 3. Okay? Remember it. Okay, here's Thomas now. Here's the pitch from Jackson. That's 5-5, right-handed, grounder to short X. Go tie, 440, cheese and all. Say cheese, please. 440-24, whoops, yep, G1 gets to it. 6-9, 10-11, E40. And he boots it. Julio go tie with an error. That cheese did not help that time. Or if he's not doing so, he ought to bring that cheese out to the field. First error for the Cardinals. Thomas on first, and here's Marshall now. Four, 5 left-handed, fly ball left for Musial. 2 outs. We ought to replace him for the 9th inning in left field, a 4. Here's Jackson now, facing Bobby Smith. Wait a minute. Oh, it's the pitcher. That's right. Pitcher due up. There's going to be a hitter for Daviault. How do you like that? Almost missed up on that. 5-6, 7. He pitched the 8th inning, basically. There'll be a hitter for Daviault. It will be Jim Hickman. We'll bring in Craig Anderson to pitch the top of the 9th. We're just going to double check to make sure he doesn't start anytime soon. Actually, he relieved on the 19th, so he's ideal to bring in. It will be Craig Anderson, 5.35. That's about, it's about as good as you can get with this team. I suppose Larry, like Al Jackson and Roger Craig are better, but they're starters, so. +6, +5 max for Anderson. Here's Hickman now with 2 outs. Hickman was an original Met. Ed Kranepool was an original Met. When they use him, I could pull him anytime I want. He only had like 6 at-bats, went 1 for 6, something like that. And it was a double. Then they sent him down. I don't know if they had Tidewater yet. Anybody know anything about the Mets farm system in their first year in '62? I believe their AAA was Tidewater. Maybe it was AA. I don't know. And a big hand for Jim Hickman as he comes to the plate. 2 outs with Marshall on first. Okay, Jackson looks in. The pitch to Hickman. That is 5-9, right-handed. Fly ball right, just should end the inning. Under it is Clemens. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, the error. Left on base. It's a 7-3 ball game. We're going to take a break for 2 or 3 minutes as Craig Anderson makes his way. I think the bullpens were in the outfield, but I'm not certain. If anyone knows that. AAA was Syracuse. Wow. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Now, I know that the clubhouse in the Polo Grounds was out in center field. The dugouts, of course, were in the infield. My question is, where did relievers warm up? The Mets get marvelous Marv Throneberry May 9. I'm going to make a note of that, Bill. I am so appreciative of the assistance I get, because this helps me not misuse him. What did they bring him up from the minors? So if anybody knows that, feel free to share it with me. It's a 7-3 ball game. I've enjoyed the ball game. Most of all, I've enjoyed the chat. Left center and right center. I'm not sure I quite understand that, Bill. Oh, you're talking about both sides. Yeah. Well, but what about the Mets? You're telling me that when the Giants were still playing through 57. Oh, okay, so Hobie is going. Where's Hobie going? Where can you tell me where Hobie's going? I'll write that down. And folks, I'm not big on writing on these cards, but when there's utility in doing so, Baltimore, thank you. And I try to make it neat. Thank you so much. You know, I will not have you providing valuable information about my replay and not using it. My goodness. Oh, he has a card with the O's. Okay. Okay, well, in that case, I'm gonna white that out. We'll white that out there. And then we'll white this out, but we're gonna keep it up so that Hobie, the whiteout used on Hobie, can dry out. Beautiful. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Hobie dry out right here while we take our break. Hobie belongs right here. Let Hobie dry out there. And we'll take a break here and be back in about 2 to 3 minutes. So it is 7-4. We're going to head to the ninth. He's drying out. Yeah, you bet, Bill. You bet. Hobie 1 for 3 today. He did knock in a run, a very big run, the third run for the Mets. Hobie is drying out. We'll be back. I'm Jeffrey Guterman. And this is the strat-o-matic Network. By the way, I'm hoping to finish this game relatively soon because I'm expecting a call from my son probably between now and 10:30 a.m., closer to 10:30 a.m. Well, we're back at the Polo Grounds, ninth inning. Craig Anderson is the sixth pitcher for the Mets. Mets are down by 3. Julian Javier leading it off here. My question earlier for all of you was that after Bill noted that when the Giants played there, the pitchers warmed up out in the outfield, you know, behind the outfield. Are they still doing that? My guess would be yes. Here's the pitch to Julian. That's 2-6, right-handed, and that is it. Oh, that's a re-roll. Oh, foul ball. 2-9, right-handed, and that's a base hit for Julian, his second of the game. Julian 1-18, 1-23, being held 1-19 max. No lead. Here's Bill White now. Ah. 6-10 left-handed. Grounds it to second A. That's going to be 4-6-3, 2 outs. And now here's Musial. They'll throw a left fielder out there in the ninth for Musial. 1-5 hit deep by Stanton, and it's dropping into the gap for a double. That was hit very well. He might have had a triple in his prime. He can't run too well today. Musial with a 2-out double, and here's Boyer. .49 right-handed, grounder to third, and Zimmer has it. He throws it over to Marshall, and the side is retired. So a scoreless inning hurled by Anderson. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Larry Jackson has gone all the frickin' way. And there's going to be a new outfielder. Charlie James is a 2, and he will replace Musial out in left field. Charlie James, a 2. Isn't that interesting? You know, in advance, they tell you that it's possible the fielding ratings would be different. We're going to see if we could find a 2 if we're going to this trouble. See if someone else can play left field in the lineup, and I'll bring who's playing center. It's Landrum. See if he can go out to left. Landrum, yes, he can. So Landrum will move to left field, and Kurt Flood, who's a little Charlie horse today and didn't start, will be in center. So, and he is a 1 in center field. And look, yeah, a 1. After White. It's a lot of trouble to go through this, but you never know. Flood playing center field now. And Landrum goes to left, and we denote that here. So Jackson on the mound, trying to win it. Leading it off is Zimmer. Absolutely. I just read that. Yes, Stan got an ovation. Although they didn't see him come out, they just replaced him. You know what I'm saying? That's dedication. And also alertness. Here's the pitch to Zimmer. That's 3-5 right-handed, triple 1-7. It is a double by Zimmer. His second double of the ball game. And speaking of Hobie Landreth comes up. Here's Jackson now. The pitch to Hobie. That's 2-9 right-handed, fly ball left field for Landrum. And he makes the catch. So Landreth flies out to Landrum. I used to call, Bill, we used to call, I don't know how that, are you talking about Zimmer? We used to call Zimmer the gerbil. I thought, I didn't know that was a meme. I thought it was maybe just the people I was hanging out with. Now here's Richie Ashburn. That works out nicely to have Ashburn in this spot. Ashburn walked in the 7th when he pinch hit. Really? The spaceman. Okay, Ashburn steps in. Ashburn, by the way, yeah. Here's Jackson now. 1 out. The gerbil on second. And the pitch to Ashburn. That is 2-7 right-handed, fly ball center. And that's for Flood. 2 outs. So Larry Jackson, 1 out away from his first win of the season. This wasn't a particularly pretty pitching performance. He's allowed 3 runs, but he's allowed some hits today, some big hits. But he has to face Mantilla now. Here's Jackson and the pitch. That's going to be a 5-6 right-handed. Grounds it to short, fielded by Gotai. Cheese and all. Throws it to White, and the ball game is over. So all is well for Julio as the Cardinals clip the Mets 7-3. So that does the ball game. We're going to put Anderson in for that's going to be 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. Well, did Anderson really pitch 2 innings? I guess so. Oh, no, 8. That's right. He pitched 1 inning, 2 hits, and no runs. The loss goes to, who did I say got the loss? Yeah, McKenzie. You're really tight in here. And this is for me when I enter it. And McKenzie is 0-1 now. Jackson gets the win. He's 1-0. Jackson went all the way 9 innings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. It's not like the Mets didn't get hits today. He walked 1 batter, struck out 2, and allowed 2 earned, 1 unearned. The final line of this ball game: Cardinals 7 runs, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 hits, 1 error. The Mets 3 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. This will bring the Cardinals up to 3-2, now a game behind. That makes sense that Bill Lee, and who named him the Spaceman? Did he name himself the Spaceman? It's hard to call a star of the game on this one, but, you know, I go with stars of the game, multiple people. I think Clemens deserves a nod for 4 runs batted in, and I think Jackson for pitching basically allowing 3 runs, pitching decent ball. Thank you to Bill Ivamy. I want to say thank you to Kathy. Thank you to Andrew. Thank you to Phil. And once you start with this, you really can't leave anybody out. Thank you, Stack. Thank you, Tony, who was here earlier on. Thank you, JC, and they could still be here. And thank you to everybody else out there in the strat-o-matic network. I'm going to put this one in the books. And this Pittsburgh game, I know my limits. It's Pittsburgh at Philly. That's going to be 6 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, right here on the strat-o-matic network. The final game of this date, April 18, 1962. In the meantime, folks, and always, stay strong, stay well, and I will catch you all next time.